The players change, technology change, but when we master the science of surviving, we gain respect from the culture. Don't get in to fit in. Learn your place, study your place, and master the place that you are in. This country was built on mastery, and it's called the greatest nation on earth.
Karen's son, the album. I got the young boy. Cool.
Every night I hear voices, fighting demons, can't get them off.
Freeze.
When it's late at night, I hear voices, fighting demons, can't get them off me. Mama pray for me, pray often, but my palms itching, money calling. Kobe Bryant, 24 ballin', trying to reach the top without falling. When it's late at night, I hear voices, fighting demons, can't get them off me.
I was born with this hustle, I was destined to get it. Nobody showed me the ropes, I really wanted this, really. My pops locked in the slammer, I was raised with no nana. At the age of 5, I realized mama was Santa. Ain't no tooth fairy neither, only angels and demons. Same people you love, treat your ass like you need them. Fuck you all and I mean it, don't say you with me and scheming. See this hustle get personal, cause I'm fighting my demons. I love my bitches, I do. A wise man play a fool cannot play the wise man. That's some shit he can't do. Keep they chill when you up, put your neck in the noose. They watch you hang from the ceiling rather than cutting you loose. Get 'em.
When it's late at night, I hear voices, fighting demons, can't get them off me. Mama pray for me, pray often, but my palms itching, money calling. Kobe Bryant, 24 ballin', trying to reach the top without falling. When it's late at night, I hear voices, fighting demons, can't get them off me.
40 crushed in my palm, no regard for the law. When I'm woke, I see demons, so I know it won't be long. My nigga Switch did me wrong, left me stuck on my own. Wanna go to his residence, bust his head with this chrome. Devil riding me daily, mama pray for your baby. I was riding for niggas who wouldn't reach out to save me. Looking back, ain't it crazy? Hard times what made me, in the trenches we craving. Money, sex, and murder, palms itching, we need it. Hard pounding, you nervous, don't come around when you got it, but show your face when you hurting. Keep my head above water when them shooters are lurking. Got this rifle with this Bible open, reciting verses. I got 'em.
When it's late at night, I hear voices, fighting demons, can't get them off me. Mama pray for me, pray often, but my palms itching, money calling. Kobe Bryant, 24 ballin', trying to reach the top without falling. When it's late at night, I hear voices, fighting demons, can't get them off me.
When it's late at night, I hear voices, fighting demons, can't get them off me. Mama pray for me, she pray often, but my palms itching, money calling.
My name is Anthony A. Gray, and I'm a registered nurse that's bringing awareness on the premature deaths of young black males in America through interpersonal gun violence as a public health crisis. A public health crisis that's been around for over 4 decades. My aim is to only speak on black crime in America and to bring forth informational scientific initiatives to facilitate an effective decision-making skills within our communities. In my recent video, an OG called Penitentiary Rules in Effect, I collaborated with OG Gigavelli to discuss how penitentiary rules or politics unite fractured gang members in America and why we should end the senseless wars within our communities. In this video, I will discuss the dope game and how it was normalized since childhood and left the psychological scars within our communities. I grew up in a community called Overtown, where there were drug holes on every corner. I seen many drug transactions and shootings. I still remember my first shooting like it was yesterday. There were 3 men arguing. One man was talking about he needed his money. The other man shot him in both legs. Then one hit him in the head. The innocence that I had as a 6-year-old child was snatched away from me when I seen that bullet hit the skull. I know many people are thinking, what my parents were. My dad went to prison when I was 16 years old. He caught 25 years for trafficking cocaine. And my mother, well, mama was just a little girl. She was 16 years old with 3 kids, but when my dad went to prison, she was 21 years old. So I grew up like many in the hood, where the county became our mamas and our fathers were the streets. Tupac said it best in 1996 on the song Shorty Wanna Be a Thug. Quote, no mother, no father, see a niggas all alone. Old timers my role model, the war zone. End quote. I will be joined by 3 guests to discuss the dope game, dealers, victims, and killers. For literature review, I'll be joined by the author of the book, Trabulations, the Hood Bible, Mr. Travis Williams, better known as Miami Boy Trab. Trab was considered the founder of violence in the crack era. His arrest was featured on America's Most Wanted. Under the provisions of the 1998 drug law, his drug case was facing the death penalty. He served 30 years in federal prisons. For methodologies, I will be joined by the founder and president of Iman's Light Foundation, Dr. Mary Carmen Rodriguez. Dr. Rodriguez founded the foundation in honor of a 19-year-old daughter who died of a drug overdose in 2003. Iman's Light Foundation mission is to prevent and educate the youth of today on the daily truths of the dope game. For culturally appropriate music, I will be joined by rap artist Freezie Da Iceman. Freezie has hits like Fire Iceman. His music give a depiction of the dope game.
I'ma burn up anything that come around me. Bitch, I'm reppin' Dade County.
Right before my eyes, it was very amazing. Oh yeah, he was like a mess now. He used to always have to get on his case. I couldn't talk to him like a child. I had to talk to Gerald like, he was like a grown-up because he didn't understand childness. It was told to me like that, and I told it to my kids like that. So that's how, I'm very proud of all my kids. But Jarrell, yes, he's the oldest, and he looks out for all his siblings. It been Christmas. He was out to buy Christmas for his sisters and brothers because I made bad choices. But, we got through it together. I didn't even know my child knew how to write, because really rapping is all about writing poems and whatever, putting it together. And I never understood how he knew how to do that so well. So when he got into the music, I was there for him, was there with him. And he amazing me. Every track he made, I'm more proud and proud and proud.
Powerful intro, man. Powerful. What's up, nigga?
What it do, man?
God damn, dog. My dog. Now, that was your mother on the intro on the album, dog, to Karen's son.
Yeah.
And your latest album was titled On My Father.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what your parents mean to you that you'll name one album after your mother and the next one after your father?
I mean, shit, they the world of me. And the crazy thing, they was never even together.
No?
They just 2 people that coexisted, had children, but never was a, couple, I would say, or whatever. She got 4 kids from this one man.
She got 4 kids. How many kids do your dad got?
My father got 16 kids.
So you got 16. So you got.
I know all my siblings and stuff. I fall in the bracket. I think I'm number 6.
So you did not grow grew up in a 2-parent household.
He was around until he got incarcerated. He was always around. But when I say always around, he would make the effort as far as financially, but time, that's not something he always had.
And what time you went in? What age were you?
I was 12, turning 13. That summer of being, I actually tried to get a job that summer because my birthday in the summer I couldn't. So I was pumping gas. I was towing people bags from the grocery store to their car, not knowing what type of risk I was putting myself in. Just, inspired to be, independent, I guess, or just have it in me.
That what your mother mentioned in the intro, that she made some bad choices, and then you had to step up and provide for your siblings. So that was around the time you started doing things when your dad went in?
No, I was doing things while he was out.
Yeah.
But I kind of it just, it's maxified far as it just got greater when he left, knowing that he wasn't around,
Right.
He was somebody you would be afraid of at the end of the day, But not the old girl, she was more caring.
And I know about your dad relationship. I remember back in the day, like one of your first songs I heard of, it was over that Lil Wayne beat.
Yeah.
Everything when you wrote that song, Letter to My Pops.
Yeah.
That was powerful, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know what your dad means so much to you. And let me just share, Flippa and I, how long we've been knowing each other, man. Freezie Da Iceman, for a long time, man.
Right.
His dad and my step pops used to run together. So the spot I used to hustle at,
I used to always be at.
you know what I'm saying? And his dad opened that spot up before he had caught a Fed case. How long did John do in the pen?
About 20. I want to say, with all the total, because he was on some weight and stuff, but for the most part, 20. He went in when I was 12, turning 13, and he was coming home when I was 30, turning 31.
Right, John did a bid, boy.
As far as with the fact that he was sentenced when I was 12, turning 31, he could have been locked up, months and months before then, but I remember that.
And your mother, did she was always there in your life all the time?
Man, you mama's baby, daddy's maybe, so she was there. She also did a bid when I was like 10, maybe turning 11. She did a year in Jamaica.
Yeah.
For trafficking.
And it's like the streets was your daddy, the county your mother. You know what I'm saying? The story in the hood, I got childhood development. And your recent Instagram post, you post that you just caught a drug case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, we get out there, man.
I mean,
that case.
It's about fighting, you know what I mean? But I'm out, you know what I mean? But I got to tread lightly. They got me out on bond and all type of circumstances. I can't, things I have to sit here and do to just, be out here on freedom. But it's a headache. If it ain't one thing, it's another.
And what age you was when you first caught your dope case, like a first drug case?
Could have been maybe 14, possession and intent to sell the crack cocaine.
And that's why the music, when they talking about how our music or rap music to the drug game and to the drug culture, it's like it was normalized from childhood. Both your pops and your moms, both incarcerated for drug cases. You caught a drug case when you was a teenager.
Yeah.
And that's what influenced our music. You know what I mean? Would you say that's like what make you write your music is like reality to you?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, when I sit here and think of music, I can only rap about what I see, but I do have an imagination where I'm trying to, I also make music where it's for believers. It's just It's hard to believe when you in the,
You're caught up in the essence of it, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. We'll be right back with more with Freezie Da Iceman.
The master spider stung us, tranquilizing us, and has taught us how to remain in the blind so that we never utilize our true ability to see our way through the maze of life.
Rub it down just the way she need it. She ain't got a bag, got your cancel, I don't need her. Way I drop banana on these hoes, I'm a demon. Who you know colder than me, bitch? It's Freezie. My nerves bad, my nigga dead, ain't never coming back. Nigga ain't cry about it, we slide about it, no nigga get a pass. I fuck these bitches from the back, this little bitch got a little ass. I'm in that scat going zoom, 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 I ain't even in the gas. I've been grinding for a future, yeah, but surrounded by my past. My conscience saying stay focused, ego screaming fuck rap. My bills telling me to trap, my money short, I'm about to snap. I'm surrounded by the killers and drug dealers where I'm at. I fuck with snakes, they eat the rats. Don't hang with snakes, that's a trap. You caught slipping, you a pack. No one, no one's Caliprat. Me and this bitch, yeah, I'm scrap. I keep a bitch who got a scrap, who got a bitch that love to scrap. When going down, yo, get the scrap. That back door lock, can't open that. Can't put you on, but can get you whacked. Fuck them haters, they ain't getting racks. Shot with me, you gon' double back. That back door lock, you can't open that. Can't put you on, but can get you whacked. Fuck them haters, they ain't getting racks. Shot with me, you gon' double back.
Hey, man. We talk about rap lyrics and how it influenced the culture, influenced the people, and like the impact of like what it have on us, right? And we trying to put more positive message, right?
Understood.
But our reality is not that much positive, dog. Like we caught up in the world of drugs, violence. You know what I'm saying? Just come up in the land of hustlers, man. And how can we change that, right? Earlier you mentioned use your imagination. I want to share a personal story, right? When I was out there in the streets, I remember on Sundays, dog, I was staying Monty in Opalaka. I was hustling in the town, but I was staying in Bunch Park. On Sundays, I used to imagine myself somewhere else. I used to catch the 22 to the H and go to a Mormon church, dog. Nobody ain't never known. Like your face said, yeah, church, my nigga, on some G shit, dog. But I was imagining myself how can I get out this environment, dog? Because every day, you know what I'm saying, what I see. You know what I'm saying? It was just like destruction every day. So when I seen them dudes on the bikes, the Mormons, they came, you know what I'm saying, we spoke, I read their book. I went over to the church. Believe it or not, I got baptized in the Mormon church, dog, when I was 17, man. That was when I was making that change, dog. And it was me imagining myself somewhere different, dog. I used to fantasize about having a better life, dog. I used to fantasize about having a wife, kids, you know what I'm saying? A good life, not that jail cell, you know what I'm saying, where the nigga was headed at, dog.
Understood.
You feel what I'm saying? So with your music, dog, why we can't change the lyrics and, you know what I'm saying, imagine something else better than what we see already, dog?
I'm not gonna lie, when I make my music, I definitely try to package it with entertainment, but it's definitely a message. I'm not out here telling kill, you know, steal, whatever, but for what I am doing, you gotta make it interesting for someone to wanna partake in what you're saying. So when it come down to the YNs, I'm definitely one of their favorites when it's all said and done. I'm not with the drill music, you know what I mean? I can get on that level, but I'm making entertaining music where if you take the time, which they do, when you listen to the lyrics, it's on a nice beat, it's rap with something that's catchy, but in reality, it's more than a message, just the, you know, you gotta listen though.
What I'm trying to say is, how can we, you, I, and our whole communities come together and promote peace? Because we dying so fast. You know what I'm saying? And how can we come out this cycle, dog? So right now, we having a discussion where we opening it up. But through your music, dog, and through your platform, and through other avenues, raising awareness on this, man. We dying fast, dog. We dying at a young age. And your music, dog, like I say, I'm your #1 fan. I support your music. And like, every bar you spit, dog, I know it's real. You know what I'm saying? I met people who do music, and they always talk about selling dope and did this, and they go to their job. You know what I'm saying? They just do it because it's something to say. And like you say, if it's a industry plan or something like that, to always rap about destruction, we gotta come up out of that, dog. And you, definitely with your talent, dog, and I thank you so much for coming on this show, that I believe, dog, that you're gonna be like, you know what I'm saying, one of the initiatives to take that march against Let's Change Us, man.
I understand. I appreciate you for having me.
All right then, dog. For sure. Freezie Da Iceman, go get his music.
Yeah.
A man is getting off the hospital gurney and exiting from a busy city hospital's emergency room, with IV lines still intact. He is walking slowly down a street in Overtown, holding onto his IV pole and only wearing a hospital gown. The street is occupied with dope pushers and dope users. The man has pronounced neck veins, swollen feet, and ankles. He makes his way up a dark, pissy stairwell. Sitting at a table full of crack cocaine is a teenage drug dealer named Jit, short for Gangsta in Training. Jit responds to the knock at the door.
Yeah.
The man slides in a $100 bill through an opening in the door.
Look out for me now. I need this.
Man, you look crazy as fuck. Where you coming from?
Man, I'm all in the hospital. I had to leave.
Nigga, look at your neck, your feet, all big and shit. What the fuck you got going on, bro?
They talk about my heart and shit, and I'm all fucked up. My nuts all swollen, feet all swollen. They try to give me some shit, but fuck that, man. I need that real shit.
Nigga, I ain't got shit for you. Go back to that motherfucking hospital and get yourself checked out, bro.
Momentarily, an argument occurs between the man and Jit over drugs. Jit slides the money back to the man, and the man leaves. A couple minutes later, another dope fiend knocks on the door and slides a $100 bill through an opening in the fence.
Where the fuck you get this money from?
What money?
Man, where that nigga at?
What nigga?
The nigga with the motherfucking IV pole.
Right here, man. He over there.
Jit locked the door, went down the stairs, gave the man back his money, and walked him towards the city's hospital.
Damn, Jit, you don't want this money?
Man, all money ain't good money, bruh.
Then what you in this shit for?
Man, I was born in this shit. I'm made for this shit.
You was born in this shit?
The man pauses, looks around at the poverty-stricken neighborhood of Overtown.
Jit, you was made for something else.
So hello everybody, my name is Dr. Mari Carmen Rodriguez, for all of you guys, Mari. So I am the president of Iman's Life Foundation, as you see in my shirt. And Iman's Life Foundation is dedicated to the prevention, awareness, and advocacy against street marijuana, vaping, fentanyl, and drugs. I'm a child and youth advocate. I'm also the co-director of Powerhouse Workshops and Consulting. I was an ambassador, cultural ambassador for the Walt Disney Corporation, but actually my biggest pride is that I'm here in representation of Iman's Light. We want to make sure that's a prevention, awareness, and education on the things that are killing not only our children, they're decimating our communities. And for that reason, I am here today. And I hope that this is going to be a show that is going to change many lives.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you for the work you do. Now, when I first seen you on OG Gigavelli's show, and I was so blown away about your story and about the work that you do, and what impressed me the most that you was at Martin Luther King parade.
Of course.
You know, that was it was so special. It took over me, like I was compelled to learn more about you. You could tell the viewers the work you do and your certifications and background?
Yes, I'm certified in Dr. King's philosophy. One of the reasons why I was there. I'm also certified in anger management, behavior modification, Dr. Rosenberg's philosophy, of course, and a child and youth advocate for over 13 years. But I think today we're more here on the representation of the tragedies that sometimes people don't expect that could just happen to anybody. And I say that I come from a family that everybody was a little bit of an advocate, because when you're a child of an immigrant, life has a different perspective.
Right.
I saw what my parents went through, and I saw the kind of life they wanted us to have. And actually, my father used to have a business in Liberty City many, many years ago in the 70s, 80s, and 90s as I was growing up. And I was moved. I was moved with everything that's taking place in Liberty City, in the places where I used to go many times as a child, believe it or not, to be with him in the shop and help or whatever. And some people said that I was kind of crazy to go there and pass on flyers against vaping and street marijuana and drugs. But that's where a mother needs to be.
Right.
That's where mothers need to be. That's where parents need to be. That's where adults need to be. That's why you're doing what you're doing, obviously, because you know the battle that we are against. This is a war, and the war is on our children. The war is on them, because nobody's coming after us. At least after me, because I'm already older, who's going to want the old lady, right? But it's the kids. It's the kids. They're killing my kids. You already know what happened to my daughter.
Right.
And some people told me I was crazy to go out there and speak about this because of the stigma, because they're going to think, because maybe people are going to think she was a drug addict. I really don't care what anybody thinks. I will not give power to that criminal and to the people who are lacing and doing certain things to just eradicate the name of my child and 122,000 kids who died the same year. And young people.
And that was in
Staggering.
2023?
2023.
Yeah.
And in 2024, when I was reading the last statistics from the CDC, was 110,000. And I don't know why we're not on fire. I always wonder, what is the number? What number is it going to take? I know that they're talking about fentanyl and the borders and all that stuff, but they've known, Anthony, since 2009. This thing was on our streets.
Right.
It took me 8 months of not being able to leave my home. And all I could think of is I wanted to understand why. What did I miss? What information didn't I know? Why I wasn't aware? How could I have done something for her? How could I have done something? How could someone educated be so stupid as not to know these other dangers that are out there? And when I saw the numbers, I grieved. I grieved for so many people. Because since 2009, this thing has been on the streets. So what have we done? And why I didn't know? That's the part, because I know you're in the medical field, and it kind of like takes us aback sometimes, the tragedies.
And you are doing a great job. And you mentioned Dr. King's philosophy. He had a quote was, quote, "Everyone could be great because everyone could serve," end quote. And that's the work you're doing. You serving the community, and you being an advocate, and you being a voice for the unheard. Now, I mentioned earlier I was compelled by your story, and something took over me. I kept seeing the number 13.
Oh my God.
The number 13 just popped up to me. Like I was sitting on the clock, I was seeing it like in the staircase. I was always seeing this number 13 just everywhere I went for some time. And I was trying to connect the dots. I'm a firm believer that when the universe throw you signs, It's your job to connect those signs and make use of it. So when I first had a conversation with you, you mentioned your daughter's birthday.
Yep.
And when I did the numerology math on your daughter's birthday, and it was October the 15th, 2004.
Correct.
And when I told her the number, it came to 13. And 13, it has strong vibrations with the spiritual meaning of intuition, creativity, and inspiration. And that would inspire me to do this program, The Dope Game. Dealers, victims, and killers. It's like your daughter spoke to me from a universe, and her life power number is 4. So it was stable, hardworking, and intelligent individuals.
She was.
So
she was.
She was speaking deftly. It was like she wanted us to connect somehow and to be doing this and to shine light on your story.
She was a child of God, like all children are. Don't get me wrong. To me, I'm sorry, it's like, when a baby's born, does anybody says, okay, the aspirations that I have for this baby is for them to be a drug addict, for them to be this, for them? Of course not. When a child is in your arms, everything that is good in this universe is in your arms, because that is the potential of every single child that is born in this planet. Is what we do with it. I mean, she was a kid that during the pandemic was going out there putting, groceries in the trunks of people's car.
Yeah.
I don't know how many cats I still have in my house that she collected. We used to have fights over her collecting every animal, even a gecko that was missing an arm. So she was, I don't know, she was this kid that she could sing, she could dance, she could model, she was an extreme athlete, she wanted to be a vet. I don't know how many talents God gave her. I just think that sometimes some souls, they're too trusting, they give too much, they have all this light that they attract, and with that light you attract the good and the bad.
Right.
But one of the things that I wanted to go to Liberty City is because I hate it. I hate when there's already like a predisposition that this is taking place because this is what these people are. 122,000?
Right.
That was their predisposition.
And you mentioned 122,000. You're talking about the people who died.
Yes,
from,
people who died.
Drug overdoses.
On 2023, that we know.
In 2023.
That we know here in this country.
And them numbers were reported by the CDC?
By the CDC.
Okay.
But sometimes there's some bodies that they don't know exactly, because the body could have been in water, the body could have been, so they don't know exactly. But what about in the rest of the world?
Right.
I mean, I know we're leading. I know United States is leading in this death. That's a question we also must ask ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening in other countries? Are they not reporting or they're not having it? I don't know. I really don't know. I travel, but I don't travel enough to make this kind of, maybe that should be something we should figure out, how many people are dying of the same fentanyl and the same issues that we have here in other countries, because I would like to know.
And the most thing I'm impressed about your story is prevention. But we'll be right back, and we'll be right back with Dr. Rodriguez after this. All right, welcome back. We're here with Dr. Rodriguez. And as I mentioned before we went on break about prevention and the work you do, can you explain what these props are and explain each one?
Well, first I got to tell you that what we do is that I go to schools, centers, places, anywhere a parent or anybody calls me and needs me, and we do what is called specialized workshops. So I start with what everybody's mostly into, which is a street marijuana. I say street marijuana because it's always very different than what you go and you buy when you're going to one of the specialized stores for marijuana,
right,
which is only for 21 and over. So let's keep it real, and we're talking about what's happening in a street. So we talk about the truth about marijuana, that it is addictive, that it is the plant has been manipulated, and that the THC level of it is between 40 and 80%. Now, how many studies do we have on what happens to a growing brain with a THC of 80% or 70% or 50%? So that's the part that people don't understand, that it has many layers. The street something is very different than a controlled substance, as you know, because you're in the medical field.
Right.
And even a controlled substance can always give you an overdose, right? So I go to school classrooms, I go to city centers, I go to government places, I go to churches, I go anywhere where anybody wants to hear about the truth, and what I do is a presentation, aside of marijuana and all the truth and negative effects of it, of the street one. We talk about vaping, which right now is really like freaking me out because of the capabilities that this has. And also because the vape that doesn't have nicotine is not regulated by anybody. It's a self-regulating industry. Can you imagine that? So these two things was given to me by a middle school. It was confiscated. They had many. So thanks to them, I didn't have to buy this prop. This one is marijuana, and this one is just a vape. But the way that a child got this vape was that she asked her abuelito, her grandpa, to take her to the store to pick up something. Somebody was waiting for her there and gave it. She was only 12 years old. So what people don't understand is that nicotine is second to addiction only to cocaine. It's highly addictive. And someone can also die, right, from having a nicotine overdose. So this is just being given. And second of all, do we really know what is really in here? I don't know. I didn't buy it. Who bought it? So kids are getting their hands on these things, and it terrifies me. It terrifies me because, you know, this is just a capsule, and you can manipulate it. You can do whatever you want with it. So there's so many dangers to this. Aside from regularly that they make it look like it's something that doesn't hurt you, that is not true. Vaping has real health hazards, even for adults, because popcorn lung is only from vaping. So even adults need to educate themselves on what's going on. It's besides the nicotine, because a Juul is equivalent to 20 cigarettes. It's the health hazards. It has health hazards that come with it. And of course, we talk about the monster, which is fentanyl. And what I do, because sometimes it's hard to imagine, right? If you're not in the medical field like you, if it's 100 times stronger than morphine and 50 times stronger than heroin, you have to think that it will take 50 to 100 doses, the equivalent of one. So that's why it's so lethal, it's so potent, right? And that 2 milligrams happens to be these few grains of brown sugar that I have in my hand, right? So that's what people don't understand, how little it takes. And when it comes to pills, I always say, please do not buy any pills, any medicine in the internet. Everything is tainted. We have no idea. Cartels are putting things in containers that are coming from pharmacies. If you're the unlucky one to have one of those that looks like a real pill, that is stamped like a real pill, that is the same color as your real pill, you're dead. It's as simple as that. So unless it's coming from your doctor and your pharmacy, you do not touch it. Sometimes you can tell, but a pill, never. You cannot tell. You have to destroy. You cannot tell. Now, I also teach about Narcan. Why? Because the schools right now are having the issue that we don't know if a child falls on the floor, what is truly taking place.
Right.
So as you know, Narcan is a lifesaver. It's easy to apply, so not only do I give it to the schools, I teach them how to use it. So this is, if you see a child, you know, pupils are in a pinpoint, they cannot breathe, they're gargling, lips are purple, you know, we look at the nails, they're not getting oxygen, they're trying to breathe. This is a very easy way for us to administer, right?
Intranasal, yeah.
Intranasal. It's very simple, it's very easy. And second of all, you don't have to be afraid, because if the child is down and it wasn't because of an opiate overdose or fentanyl overdose, you're not hurting the person. Has no way of hurting you. So I try to do my part, my best to educate parents on other things that I didn't know when they're too little. Of course, the subjects that I cannot touch, the stories that I cannot tell. But I do want the little ones to know and feel, since they're in 4th and 5th grade, how does it feel to be completely out of control? So this is more like if you were drunk or high. So then I throw a ball at them, or I tell them to walk to me, so that they feel how you have no control of your body. And this is the reason why drugs are so involved in so many things, from human trafficking to drug violence to killing people, because this is what it does. You have no control of your body. And anybody who tells you that you are making decisions when you are under the influence of a drug, I'm telling you, you're not. The drug is making the decision for you. And being addictive, we don't know what is our threshold for addiction. I don't know mine, you don't know yours. We don't know our threshold for addiction. That's why it's so important that you demand, as parents in your school, education about drugs and mental health. It is imperative, the same way that we teach math, that we teach science, that we teach English and language arts, that we have mental health, because it is obvious that our kids are going through mental health. We have a phone, we have information. And if you don't think that they are the target, you tell me, why is any company making vapes looking like they are a highlighter a USB, a lipstick, or a hoodie. Who are they targeting, Anthony? Are they targeting you, me, a 21-year-old that wants to be cool? This is targeting to kids. And to me, any corporation, any entity who's doing this so that kids can lie to parents, teachers, that they're 12, 11 years old, and they're vaping, this is where you're going. You're targeting a child. You're targeting a baby. And you want that baby to become an addict of nicotine or an addict of many things. And to me, that's criminal. And to lace anything is criminal. And that's why we do what we do.
And I want to thank you for doing that. And good luck in your journey. We're here with you.
Thank
and you need
you.
help for support. Because the work you're doing is very important. We'll be right back.
Yeah. What's really happening in Miami? What they do. Florida, what they do. Y'all already know who it is, man. It's your boy OG Gigavelli, the host of What They Do podcast. Man, listen, man. I'm sitting on the platform with two pounders, man. I got that boy Anthony Gray in the building, and we gonna drop this mic with that boy Flippa 1900, man. Do your thing, man.
Hey, Don D, you a fool for this one.
Ay, soldier life mentality, now overcame tragedies. Couldn't be an athlete, heard beats and start attacking it. I ain't want a nigga back then, broken raggedy. Now youngin' standing on that business, man, stop pampering. Peep the funny vibes, watch out for them hoes. Niggas getting hit cause they be giving up the low. Gotta stay on PG cause I know how this shit go. Keep 'em out your business, ain't no telling what I'm on. And this shit hit different when you loving a thug. Would you hold me down? Can you hold me up? I'll be a fool to believe that you would. I'ma stand on my 10 when this shit gets hard. I probably forgive, but I cannot forget. I done been through some fucked up shit. You could bet your last dollar they ain't cut like this. Really from the town, they ain't grow up like this. I'm forever soldier. I'm forever. Okay, I'm forever soldier. I'm forever soldier. I'm forever soldier. I'm forever soldier. Ay. Real Witchy got my dog on a chain. Know they gon' hate a player, shit, that's part of the game. My loyalty forever long, got you stay the same. Like clothes on a base, baby, I never change. Might say I fell off the whole time I'm building up. Think about my niggas that ain't gone, got me tearing up. Every time it's game time, you know a nigga gearing up. Got the realest bitch, you know, I bet that they ain't real as up. I'm locked in with my niggas, we been down 10 plus. They see me auto with me, don't you never switch up. All that flogging on the network, got them niggas picked up. Move on, we pull up like a Uber, don't get lift up. Ay, I'm forever soldier, gotta make that clear. But the world feel different without my brothers here. Chin up gangster, can't let them see you drop a tear. And they better know it's always us, never them. I'm forever soldier. Okay, I'm forever soldier. I'm forever soldier.
We talking about the dope game, right? Let's bring out one of the realest that ever done it. Liberty City stand up. Dade County stand the fuck up. He sat on death row and then told. He walked down 30 years in the feds and then fold. His persona was visualized in that BMF series. He's author of the book Trabulations, the Hood Bible, where he spoke on the real nigga constitution, the real nigga blues. He also talked about that fuck nigga, the game versus the game. 305, welcome home, our big homie, Mommy Boy, legendary Tribe.
If we keep it real with ourselves, we can form a union around the code. It is a testimony of what governs us. Let's hold our foundation down and stop giving what we believe in a cop-out.
Welcome home, big homie. Damn, welcome home, dog. Welcome home, man.
You,
glad you made out there, man. We need y'all here. And you know what I'm saying? Like the reason I say we need y'all here is because of your book. When I read your book, Trabulations, the Hood Bible, man, the first thing, only thing I could compare him to was Frederick Douglass' book, The Narrative of a Slave. The reason I say that is Frederick Douglass' book was so powerful because it gave a descriptive of the thoughts of somebody in bondage, some thoughts of somebody in obscurity, the thoughts of somebody that's going through some very challenging and difficult times that made it out the struggle. Your book, Trabulations, the Hood Bible, with quotes like, "The master spider stung us, tranquilizing us, and has taught us how to remain in the blind, so that we never utilize our true ability to see our own way through the maze of life," man. For the viewers, man, what were you at and what was going through your mind when you was writing these words, man?
You know, I was on my way out. I had like 2 years, 2.5 years before I came home. And I was sitting back, I was in a cell, you know. I had a big name inside the system and I was getting transferred from prison to prison. So what I did, I had my mind made up. I said, I got to go back out and reach the people. I understand the conventional way. I understood the conventional way. And I see that the conventional way wasn't working for our youth. You know, the old school clapping your hand, no disrespect to nobody, religion or what they believe. If it helps them and it soothes their soul, then so be it, where, you know, it help them become a better person. So I knew I had to reach the youth. And reaching the youth, you had to speak the language, what they understood. So I sat back and I critiqued my words. I wrote my words over and over, and I critiqued it, and I said to myself, I'm gonna put out something that gonna catch the imagination of the masses that don't fail short from the glory of where we supposed to be at.
Right.
So I put that piece together. I let some guys read over it. They said, man, that's a masterpiece, man.
Right.
They never thought that I thought in that capacity because of what they done heard about me.
Right.
But they don't understand what moved me into that. Society groomed me. You see what I'm saying? So society groomed me into what I was. You know, I was a basketball player. I brought a few guys in here that I went to college, you know. You know, to me, I look at myself as a hybrid.
Right.
When I say a hybrid, you know, I know the streets and I got book sense. A lot of, you know, when you talk about a hybrid car, it run off electricity and it run off gas.
Right.
And I look at myself as a hybrid. So when I sat down and wrote that book, a lot of people wanted to hear my story.
Yeah.
But I fooled them. I ain't come with the story of what everybody want to hear. I wrote something to catch the imagination of the people. And when they caught the imagination of the people, they say, man, this dude said, this dude talking something different. You know what I'm saying? He don't change. I never changed. It's in my DNA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I just had to bring it out of me. And the love that I have for my people brought that out of me because I got tired of suffering. A good brother, a young brother that I raised, right, he told me, say, hey man, look man, don't be all on these cameras doing this and that thing, you know, you won. You know what I'm saying? You came from you the first death row inmate. The feds ever, you know, seek the death penalty for. He say, man, nobody thought you was gonna ever come out. And it was a hard journey. You know, I mean, you know, dealing with the politics and people, you know, trying to, you know, dictate what you do inside the prisons. You know, it was a hard journey, you know, and I was bounced around, you know, I wound up having 717s, you know, stabbing, but, you know, I got myself caught up in a lot of stuff because I wasn't gonna rule. To me, I looked at it as, here we go, we sitting in here plotting on each other, demise, we plotting on each other instead of trying to come together and get out the situation that we are in. And you know what I'm saying? So I say, hey man, I gotta do something. I gotta do something because this mindset is, they don't destroy. You know, I came up in a neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And I did, you know, I learned through my neighbors to know how to do the neighborly things. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we dealing with hoods. The neighbor, they don't push the neighbor out.
Right.
And it's the hood things going on inside the hood. So I say I got to reach the people because I got a versatile with street sense and book sense.
Right.
So the love that I got for my people, I reach for the youth. And I say I'm a dialogue with them, I'm gonna talk in the language that they understand, and I'm gonna try to draw them into me. If you look at Jesus, I'm not a religious man. If you look at Jesus, during Jesus' time, when he walked among his communities, Jesus had motion. He had motion. He spoke a tongue. He spoke a tongue that reached the people and had them following him. But when time, we got this sport mentality. We got this sport mentality. When you win it, everybody cheering. Yeah, boy, yeah. The boy, this dude the beast. But when you start losing, everybody walking out the stands. And we got to separate ourselves from that mentality if we gonna come together. I look at the Haitians when they came here. Everybody used to laugh at them. Hey man, 15 on them in the house, this, that, and that, and that, and that. But I seen them build a community.
Right.
They own their own gas stations, clothing stores, restaurants. We laughed at them. The Cubans came. And I salute myself to the Haitians, the Cubans, our brothers. They came in and I seen Adapata change from Adapata to another name or some type of Spanish name. I seen Robert E. Lee change from that to that. They put themselves in their kids and the grandparents put the kids in position, the kids put the offspring in position. It took 20, 30, 40 years, but they in position. They didn't lose we lost our community.
Right.
When you look at it, look at all the athletes that we got. Look at all the entertainers that we got. Look at all the figures that in position that got a little money behind their back. How we all over the United States, we don't lost our community. What happened to the mom and pop store? Mm-hmm. But we go to the Indian stores. We go to the Indian stores and they, and then we be disappointed by how they treat us and stuff. They lost the respect for us because we didn't take opportunity and seize the moment. The respect is lost.
Right.
So we got to regain the respect back through building. We got to build each other up, and then brothers got to stop selling themselves short, man, into servitude. It ain't fun sitting in the cell. It ain't fun sitting in the cell with another man using the bathroom, you smelling his, saying you talking about death before dishonor. If prison ain't dishonor, I don't know what dishonor is. You talking about your mom and dad that brought you into existence, right? You can't come and pay your respect. You can't come and pay your respect to the one that brought you in existence. That's dishonor. When a man tell you to bend over and cough and open your cheeks, if that ain't dishonor, man, you separate from your wife and the dudes, so much pressure on them. It's so much pressure on them, they pressuring their wife and try to tell them. I mean, I'm gonna salute my wife, man. She been there for me. I mean, we've been together, forever since we was kids, and I take my hat off to her. I told her before the next time I get before a camera, I'm gonna make sure I say these words to her. She stood by me.
Right.
And even though I was pushing her, hey man, you gotta live your life, man. They told me I got 360 months. And they, you ain't got that much time? I say, man, count that in. I say 60 months is 5 years. I say another 60 months, that's 10 years. I say 60 more months, that's 15. They say, boy, you in trouble. I say, shit, I was born in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get out of trouble I was born into. So, hey, I was telling her, hey man, you got to go on and live your life, man. I ain't gonna hold you back. I got to try to, I had a Buck Rogers date. I'm listening to we so caught up in certain things. I'm listening to, the world gonna end in 99. I say, man, they talking about the 2020 something date. Man, I would be dead in 99. So that's how I was living. I used to, I had so much fear with the officers. I used to tell man, do your 8 hours and go home, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, because I ain't got nothing to lose, man. I'm facing the death penalty. You ain't gonna make my time hard. And my mind is like how I lived on the streets. If somebody trying to, bring you harm, you gonna defend yourself. You gonna keep your guard, you gonna defend yourself. So you are part of the system that's trying to bring me harm.
Right. And
I ain't gonna do this. I ain't finna walk down the aisle like some Humphrey Bogart job and let you take me to somewhere and kill me. Nah, if you come through that door, I'm gonna kill you too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you feel, but hey man, same way you trying to bring harm to me, I'm gonna bring harm to you. You know, I was just showing, hey man, look here, look at these joints here. Come up in here if you want to. I'm gonna give it to you. So, but I built a bad report with the system that, you know, they were bouncing me around, you know, guys, you know, I had it, you know.
And Tribe, we're gonna get more into your story, but we gotta be right back for a commercial. We'll be right back.
What it is, your boy LV tuning in, man. Born and raised Miami, Florida, Opelika to be exact. So, you know, I just want to say, come on this platform. Shout out to Anthony Gray for putting me on this platform and just speak to y'all and showcase my talents. I'm a new upcoming artist from Miami. Got a clothing brand that I just dropped, coming out real soon. So I just want to say, man, if you a young youth out here and you got anything you want to do or any positive thing you trying to do in this world, go do it. Don't let nobody stop you from stopping whatever you trying to do. Don't let nobody tell you can't do it or you too young to do it, you too slow to do it. If whatever you trying to do, whatever message you trying to push, push it. Don't let nobody stop you from pushing whatever you trying to push. And that's all I got to say.
Welcome back. When I mentioned earlier about Tribe being compared to Frederick Douglass, you know, that book meant so much to me. And for the youth today, they need a book that could like resonate with them, what they're going through, and help to inspire them to make the transition to change. Also, when Tribe mentioned he was on death row, in 1998, they passed a drug law that some drug cases could face the death penalty. His case was one of those. And he was the first Georgia inmate on death row. It was fifth in the nation revolved around that case. Tribe, you mentioned earlier about your name. Growing up in Dade County as a JIT, man, I always heard your name. Like you a legend to us, you know what I'm saying? Like you are a hero, you know what I'm saying, coming up. And then when I saw your name and your words and your face resurfaced back on that MIAO, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, okay, Tribe, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, I'm telling you, everybody, all the homies was watching like Tribe on there. How did you get linked up with Chris Lawson and Rick Ross for the MIAO project?
I was sitting in a hole, getting transferred. I got into an altercation with another inmate, you know, playing the prison politics. And my kids, you know, I wasn't too much familiar with the internet and all that stuff. They say, hey, Dad, there's some people looking for you. They want to talk to you about an interview. So they passed me the number. So I got with the counselor and I asked the counselor to let me make a phone call. I got with the counselor and asked the counselor to let me make a phone call. When I made the phone call, the brother said, hey man, I've been trying to catch up with you, brother. You a legend in the time, boy. But everybody's saying this, that, and that, and your name is everywhere, bro. And we want to do a real interview on you. I say, at this point right now, you know, I'm in transit, but when I get to my next spot, you know, I'll put your number on my list and I'll call you and we'll talk about it, you know. So when I got to my next situation, the brothers sat down and said, hey, brother, you know, you don't have a lot of money. You know, I got a big family. You know, I'm trying to, you know, get myself situated. And I say, brother, you know, I mean, I'm from the old school, man. I'm for helping my people.
Right.
I say, we live off our word. We ain't got to go into, you know, certain situations. So I say, man, I'm for you. Whatever you want to do, I'm for you. I say, I'm sitting on the yard with another person that, you know, that you want to talk to too. So I went to him and he said, I'm not putting my name on none of that type of stuff. I say, hey man, come on man, this a young brother, and it's a rapper. You know, I don't know him, but he came. You know, he trying to do something. I say he might respect the game down the line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I say it ain't gonna hurt us because we finna go home. Dude said, nah. So I said, hey, I'm going to do the interview to help the brother. You know.
Yeah.
You know. So I did the interview, and when I did the interview, you know, I talked to another brother. He was short too, but he had a couple of more guys that wasn't short, and they were still fighting their situation. So they, you know, it wasn't best for them to try to put, you know, everything I had was going on paper and was over with.
Yeah.
So it wasn't nothing that don't hurt me anyway. So if I, like I said, if I can reach back to the youth and help them, you know what I'm saying? I say I'm gonna put my face out there because he got a platform to put my face back out there.
Right.
Not to jump into another story, and no disrespect to like I said, to nobody's religion, right? The churches don't make our people domestic. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying when the churches don't make our people, when I say they made them domestic, they came out an environment that we created that's violent, Everybody took on titles. Well, that dude an animal, he's a bear.
Yeah.
They took on these different animal titles, and we got the system took them and preached the doctrine that made, like I said, don't made them domestic. Now they are pet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
sleeping in the bed with the same, they sleeping in the bed with the same people that, that's trying to control them.
Right.
This society is built on control. I was saying something last night that I really didn't go into details and break it down how I really wanted to break it down, of course, all of us were just chit-chatting and talking. I mean, if this wasn't about control, the government is paying out $200 and $300 million just for people to testify and turn on their people to keep the control on things. I sent you a little list of the FBI,
Yeah.
the DEA, the ATF. Okay, if I could have did what I wanted to do, as long as I got some information to give them. You know what I'm saying? I could have knocked on the, I'm the man.
Right.
I could have knocked on the door and say, yeah, I told on your son, what you want to do? But I ain't took that route because my parents always told me, you make your bed hard, sleep in it. You know what I'm saying? So I never want to disrespect, and I understand the code of submission. It's three phases of life. It's the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. They cast out a web of the mental and see how many people they can break. They cast them out money, different plea bargains, and different stuff. That second phase is the physical. If we don't change our diets and change our way of eating, we're gonna have all kind of different elements that gonna, put us in condition to submit.
Right.
I knew from what my mama told me, what was the mark of the beast. I seen the beast firsthand. I seen the system take people that I grew up from kids and childhood friends and offer them things to make their story look relevant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when they come to the jury, they say, hey, do you think these people lying on this guy? This is his best friend when he grew up from kids. This is nephew, this is niece, this is cousin, this is brother. But all these dudes got some type of, some type of background that they don't caught themselves up in, and they force them to say, okay, we're gonna take y'all out of this if y'all give this information. We gonna give you this license. I had a school teacher with me, but by him standing and looking out for me when I was in the state, I respected the game when I got it and I blew up with all this money. I respected the game and I just looked out for him. Hey man, get you a new car. Get you a Rolex. Hey man, get you a couple Cuban links.
Yeah.
I was just looking out for him. They tied this man in and said that he was like the kingpin. They gonna give him a license if he don't testify. He ain't did nothing. He ain't sold no girls, no nothing.
Right.
But they forced him through me respecting the game and say, hey man, that man always send me package of mints. Everybody else, a lot of people abandoned me.
Right.
You know, and you know, I was a stand-up guy for the community. You know what I'm saying? When you come get me, hey man, hey boy, this dude just robbed me. What? Oh, they just jumped me in the skating ring. What? Come on, let's ride around. Let's see what's going on. But like I say, times change. People, you know, people change.
Yeah.
you know, technology change. You know,
yeah.
you got the, you know, things is tough, man. And like I say, I got love for my people. You know, and I want to, you know, it take, you know, they might be after me. They might be coming after me the day of tomorrow because I came up here and spoke. But that's a part of. I'd rather die for a cause, but instead of because. And if my legacy could end with me helping my young brothers, this ain't no cop out. Cause man, listen, man, this ain't no cop out. I'm far from shook. You know, but I understand, you know, and I ain't just saying cause the homies in Miami, I got homies all over the globe, cause I was international inside the federal system.
Right.
And, you know, and everybody gravitated towards me from everywhere, New York, New Orleans, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, you know, and I want all them homies. I mean, that's our people, and I want to see all of us lost our hoods. And like I say, when you don't understand opportunity, you know, we used to be on the pause when I grew up. We played basketball, sandlot, football, different little things, and we moved away from that. And you know, other cultures came in and seeing that we want to utilize in certain things. Now they out there playing baseball, softball, and you ride through your neighborhood now. And people are looking at you like, where you come from?
Yeah.
I grew up in this neighborhood, but we don't lost the neighborhood because we don't understand opportunity, and we don't lost our respect.
Yeah,
we don't have no respect no more, right? And we got to, if we don't come together, this is my logic. You know, life is like a puzzle, and all us in this room, right? If we don't put our minds together and put the pieces together, we won't see the glory of the picture. You know what I'm saying? So we still scattered, but we need to come together. If we don't come together, man, we keep waiting, Jesus gonna come and save us and this, that, and that. Hey man, in order for you to see what you asking for, we got to come together, man. And it take us to come together, and we're gonna see the glory of what we asking for. Until that day come, we power. We power in numbers. We got the spending power. We don't support each other's businesses. All the mom and pop stores gone. You know what I'm saying? All of our restaurants gone. The Davises and the pastime still there, but you got moms, kitchen, all that stuff gone that we had when they put the drugs in the neighborhood, right?
Right.
They thought that we were gonna get on the drugs and they're gonna tear the community down. But when they saw that we took that money and started investing into the hood, buying, you know, the apartment buildings around there, the duplexes, we opened up the store, we looking out for the kids around the neighborhood, buying, you know, different things, you know, toys, paying the rent for the, you know, for the moms that was struggling, these things like that. They say, man, these dudes ain't using the drugs. These dudes spending money in car washes, clubs, the whole 9 yards. We putting back inside the community. Today, today guys now, they talking about how rich they are.
Yeah.
Tell me, oh, I'm rich. You can't be rich. You might be financially situated, but you mentally poor. You mentally poor. How can you say you rich when you sitting here watching your neighborhood suffer? You know what I'm saying? I drive home every night. I see a man laying on a cold ground, 20 degrees. Hey man, I say to myself, my wife could be a bear witness to what I'm saying. I never wear a coat. If this dude could sleep in Chicago or Minnesota in the cold in a box, man, I can walk to the corner store without a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're sleeping every night in this cold. And I'm saying to myself, man, I got to do something, man, because I want to help my people. It's too many It's 400 million people here in this country right here. It's more than 400. It's more than 400 millionaires in this country. Why we scared to put our money there to build for our people? If you're scared, give me the money and put some advisors around me. I ain't scared. I ain't scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared to help my people. You know, ain't no disrespect to nobody else's people, but I'm not scared. I want to help my people. That's what I went out there for. But you know, all the chaos and dudes robbing, you know, you got to deal with certain situations.
Yeah.
But if you scared, I ain't scared. I'm not scared. I'll talk to all the entertainers, actors, whoever you want the case may be. If you scared, if you under some kind of contract that you can't help your people, get the money to me. I'm not scared. Put that advisor. I'm not gonna steal your money. I got my own money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna steal your money. Give it to me. Don't give it to no foundation, because a lot of that money ain't touching the neighborhoods. Don't give it to that. Give it to somebody. Give it to your homeboy. I'm your homeboy. Give it to me, and I'm gonna put this money to use for our people. And you gonna see, I'm gonna build a community. I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of land. I'm gonna give, send people to school to be our scientists and our doctors. Stop. We taking all this medicine for people that's, you know, ain't never had us in their best interest.
Right. Right.
They never had us in their best interest. Why do you wonder why our women got breast cancer? It is killing our men with prostate cancer, colon cancer. You know what I'm saying? Destroying us. You making us do 30, 40 years when you come back and your sperm count is down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your woman, she ain't got no breast to feed the kids, but they want to give you all this poison milk that they put in, you know. Come on, hey, man, I got so much build up in me that I can go on for days, you know, like I said, right? It's a struggle, man. You know, I don't care about struggle. You don't took my life. You took all my youth. You took all my youth. I went in my 20s. I came out with a gray beard, head bald, I had a curly hair like him. It ain't no racial thing with me. My granddaddy white. I ain't talking about no distant stuff. My mama, daddy white. You understand what I'm saying? My daddy, half and half. So, you know, I could never understand. My mama say, hey, boy, don't bring nobody home don't look like me. You know, I'm a kid, I don't know what you're talking all these riddles and stuff, you know. And my daddy, hey, don't buy the car for the body, buy it for the motor. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no license. He's telling me about a car for. I ain't old enough to get the license. But as I sit back and sit in that cell, and I say, man, he talking about a woman.
Yeah.
You know, he talking about don't buy it for the body, because you know it's a lot of our sisters attracted.
Yeah.
And then you see some bodies, and you say, oh man, who that is? Don't buy it for the body, buy it for the motor, because if the motor ain't no good, the body, you know, you can ride around the car, the car goes smoking.
Yeah.
But I say this with my mama's situation, she say, don't bring nobody home, don't look like me. So everything I brought through that door was a red bone. You know what I'm saying? My mom said, I'm young, so I don't know. I'm saying, hey, mom, how you like her? And I ain't understand what the concept was, but as I got out the prison system and I followed our roots up there in Georgia, I found out that my granddaddy, not no farther down the line stuff, my actual granddaddy, is white. Now I wondered, I said, that's why I had a head full of curly hair.
Yeah.
And dark as some is. You know, I got dark, I stay in that swimming pool there. Every weekend I'm swimming, you know, and I stayed inside that pool. And like I said, I guess my mom went through something on the other side of the family that they didn't accept.
Yeah.
So she had some kind of, she ain't feel how they was carrying her.
Right.
So, you know, and I never met that side of my family, but I always thought we had Indian in us, because, I had that, I'm the darkest person, I'm the black sheep, I'm the darkest one in the house. Like I said, I stayed in that chlorine, that chlorine and that sun don't mix, it gonna darken your skin up. But like I say, brother, I love my people, And it don't make no sense to me. It's a control thing. It's a control thing, cause you know, just on casting out something just to say it, you got people got billions of dollars. Like, there's some billionaires out there. You know, I ain't gonna call no names. They can give everybody $1 million.
Right.
I mean, everybody ain't gonna do the right thing about it, about $1 million. Just like everybody gonna do the right thing about this message. You know what I'm saying? But if it reach one person, or one youth that can, you know what I'm saying, can take that seed and run with it, and be an instrument to the other youth that's around him, we can get something done. They could take $1 million. It's 400 million people in this country. They could take $1 million and give everybody $1 million. You know, our people gonna but most of the people gonna stunt. You know, ride around about them being, go get them car. You know, they gonna take the money off. But you got college kids that want to pay off their tuition. You know what I'm saying? That's got a mind. Why are we not investing our money inside our own? We could build our own. We got that spending power. We spend billions of dollars outside of our community. Everybody else, the Indians come here, take all the corner stores and send their money back to their country and build a good foundation for it. The Mexicans take their money. I'm right next to a place where they cash their checks. I got one of my businesses right next to their thing. They cash their checks and send it over to their money. I see the mama working, the kid working, the father working, all of them working for a cause. Why we can't work for the cause? Right. The betterment of ourselves. Put money in a community, even if, just like the Haitians and the Cubans came over here. If we can't do it here, we ain't trying to go against the laws of the land. The Amish people, they don't rely on certain things. They build their own community. The Amish build their own community. Why we can't build our own community? Why we can't build our own centers? Why we can't own certain things for us? The chicken plants, the medicine. Why we can't build for ourselves? And that's all I'm saying, man. Like, if we scared and we under a contract that we can't do for self, give it to me. You got to think with the mindset. You got to think this country was built on convicts. It ain't gonna take a convict to deal with another convict. Right. I'm a convict. So you got to have that mindset. You know, a lot of people say experience is the best teacher. So I can't speak on something I ain't never experienced. I can't be affected. I can't be affected on something that I ain't never experienced. A dude that used crack, he could tell us all about crack. He should have to whip it up, pour it over, make the rock swell up. You know, a person tell me, say, man, listen, y'all be killing each other and spraying. It's a million ways to kill somebody. I was in a cell with a dude, he said, hey man, you ain't got to stay at that dude, man. Go buy you 2 or 3 of them big old Cuban cigars and ball it. And pour the liquid inside his coffee and give it to him. So why you do that? He said, that's pure nicotine. It gonna kill him instantly. It ain't like you smoking a cigarette over a period of time. It's killing him. He gonna kill him. Go see them rusty screws right there. Get them rusty screws and ball it with some screen beans and get in the food and let him eat it. I said, man. He said, yeah, you want some of these cookies? I said, hell no. Fuck, you got to give me.
One thing about you though, Trab, I respect is when I first talked to you, you told me, hey man, I'm your big homie, man. If I can help you,
that's what I do, man.
I'm help you for your people. And with that, Trab wrote a very powerful book, Trabulation, the Hood Bible. Make sure y'all go get it. It's a powerful read, very needed in our community. Big homie, I want to thank you and I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man, I want to thank you, man. Thank you, man.
For sure, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, then, big homie. When I think about the dope game, dealers, victims, and killers, I often think about the Bible verse from the book of James, chapter 2, verse 24, New International Version. Quote, for a person is considered righteous by what they do and not by faith alone. End quote. The normalization of the dope game within our society has caused for us to overlook the humanitarian crisis we have caused within our communities. We have plagued our communities with decades of generational drug addictions and gun violence. When I was a teenage crack dealer, my belief was that for every day I did not get caught, the Spirit of God was protecting me. Until that one day, a man was having a stable medical crisis came to the spot. He had pronounced neck veins. His feet and ankles were swollen. He had shortness of breath. The spirit that I thought was protecting me told me that the man does not need for me to sell him crack. The man needs a substance that is designed to save life and not destroy life. The spirit told me that the man needs for me to show him compassion and empathy. By me trusting in that spirit and not selling that man crack, turned my character into a soul to care. And years later, as a registered nurse in the emergency department, I am able to recognize that the symptoms that the man was having years ago was that of heart failure. I am no longer a crack dealer, but a licensed professional. And when I place an intravenous peripheral line to administer a diuretic, I often think about how the spirit guided a young, wild crack dealer into a nurse, and to be able to save life and not destroy life. For the Bible says that a person is considered righteous by what they do and not by faith alone. The standardization of the drug culture within our society as dope pushers and dope users. What if we decide not to sell drugs? What if we decide not to use drugs? What if we decide not to pull the trigger to resolve our conflicts? It is time for us to have a spiritual awakening and do what we're designed to do, and that is to save life and not destroy life. So when we speak on black crime in America, the dope game, dealers, victims, and killers, it is time for all members of our communities to come together to wave the white flag for peace in our community. It is time for the old to teach the young. It is time for the old to restore the normalization of discipline to the young. It is time for the old to show the young compassion and empathy. But the young must understand, and when I say young, I'm talking about young people, not young niggas. America practiced the Willie Lynch philosophy that created and implemented the design of a nigga. So a young must pay attention and listen to the old. The young must listen, pay attention, and most importantly, respect the old. For the Bible says that a person is considered righteous by what they do and not by faith alone.
I feel obligated to warn you. At any time you are conscious of a tingling sensation, you may obtain immediate relief by screaming.
Hi, big EBT, throwing parties all night. Y'all go ahead and catch my vibe.
Classy.
She wanna slide, so I tell her let's do it. Slide in the bin so you know that we cruising. Be using my time for just making the music. The ladies want love, so I tell them come do it. I am the man and my diamonds they Cupid. I looked and I smile and the ladies go stupid. The ladies in love, yes I feel their delusions. Yeah, she want Fanny Pumas, I got her the Pumas. Grown ladies in love, my dog said that's my cougar. I'm making her laugh, I got good sense of humor. You said she in love, she won't break, I'm a mover. You think that I'm quiet, please don't let me fool ya. I talk to your girl, please believe you gon' lose her. She said I look nice and she like how I'm moving. She like when I talk to my voice really soothing. She look in my eyes and she feel it confusing. Cause she got a man, but my lips finna do it. She like how I treat her, she like on my music. Yeah, she asked what I'm doing. In the cafe, I tell her I'm just coolin'. Waiting on a friend to look at these blueprints. Hold on. Yeah, now she wanna party. She feelin' freaky, she all on my body. She like that seafood, she want calamari. She getting loose, now she calling me puppy. Hold on. She wanna slide, so I tell her let's do it. Slide in the Benz, so you know that we cruising. Be using my time for just making the music. The ladies want love, so I tell them come do it. I am the man and my diamonds the cupid. I looked and I smile and the ladies go stupid. The ladies in love, yes I feel their delusion. Yeah, back to the beat and I'm standing on business. You want me on features, let's talk a percentage. The business I start, best believe I'ma finish it. Yeah, diamonds on you cause I'm keeping you classy. Baby a freak, she want me in the backseat. Lastly, baby want Gucci, come ask me. She tell me come over, she sent me the Addy. We catching vibes, now I am outside. Big EBT throwing parties all night. She left her man, took him to the winning side. Yeah, young boss status, iced out with a rose gold paddock. Grinding for my money, been getting at it. Making boss moves, I get it from a daddy. This is my time to go ride. Time to step out with my drip and just vibe. The ladies on go, iced out like snow. She wanna wear my jewelry cause it's gon' glow. She wanna slide, so I tell her let's do it. Slide in the Benz, so you know that we cruising. Be using my time for just making the music. The ladies want love, so I tell her come do it. I am the man and my diamonds the cupid. I looked and I smiled and the ladies go stupid. The ladies in love, yes I feel they delusion. Yeah.